What's up, SD Racing family, and welcome back to the channel. Today in the dyno we have that Evo 8 back with the FP Red and GSC S2 cams. We're doing a spring change and a little more tuning. So y'all might know this Evo from a week or so ago. It's got an FP Red turbo, GSC S2 cams, valve train with it, turbo back exhaust, an intake, MA Performance tubular exhaust manifold, ID 1300cc injectors, and it's got a 340 liter power pump in the tank. So last time, if you remember this, we had a little bit of trouble controlling the boost pressure. I had a 10-pound spring, or what seemed to be a 10 psi spring, in the tile wastegate. So at a certain point, it got very, very finicky. Either we got 25, 26 pounds of boost, or we got 15 pounds of boost. And this is like with a micro turn on the Hallman boost controller. Really not that great for tuning, as I said, either 15 pounds or we got 25, 26. Also created a little bump in the curve because there was like a lull or a lag in it. It would kind of level off and then go up and increase the boost pressure. So he came back today. We recommend doing a 20-pound combo in it. The reason we recommend doing a 20-pound combination is because really on this setup, 20 pounds is a good safe limit to run if you wanted to run a wastegate. Now, we're not going to stop there, of course. We're going to turn it back up to approximately 24, 25 psi. See if we can get that to hold the whole way. Because last time, I think, if I remember correctly from the logs, we were making 26 and a half, almost 27 psi peak, and only holding 23 and a half, 24 psi on top. So we made the horsepower number 23 to 24 psi boost pressure, which is pretty good. So the goal is to get rid of that lag in the middle, and that little level off before the boost controller starts doing its job. And hold the power for a little bit longer, maybe make a little bit more power up top. It's a little bit different weather today than what we had last time, so we'll see. The results should be similar, but we're hoping for just a little bit more power. So as I said earlier, we changed to a 20 psi spring from the 10 psi spring. Now the way we set up our wastegates, whether manual or electronic, we'll put a diagram right over here. So essentially we run the boost reference off the turbo, teed into the reference port on the boost controller, as well as the bottom port of the external wastegate. Then we take our pressure, our controlling portion of the boost controller, and put it back up on top of the gate, or the dome, as a lot of drag racers call it. So we're adding pressure on top, or dome pressure, to help control boost pressure. And what this does for us, as the wastegate starts to open up, it doesn't oscillate. You don't hear that choppy ch-ch-ch-ch sound as it opens. So what does this do for us? It gives us a lot better control of the boost pressure, a lot smoother control, and really doesn't give us a kind of up and down effect as it opens. A little overshoot, undershoot, overshoot, undershoot as the boost controller starts to do its job. So overall, it's a lot better and a lot smoother way to control boost pressure for us. Also, again, it doesn't give the chop sound, so you get a nice smooth kind of whoosh sound as the wastegate begins to open. Again, before it was a 10 psi spring, now we got a 20 psi spring, so we're going to start from fresh, wastegate or boost controller all the way turned down. So we should run wastegate just to make sure or verify the spring combination. It was about a 20 to 21 psi combination, so we're going to do a pull at wastegate to see what that actually is. Then we're going to start turning up from there. And of course, since we've already done our tuning, we know what our air-fuel ratio is already. We know what our timing is already. So if we can, get a little bit less boost pressure down low, hold a little bit more up top, we might be able to add a degree of timing because the car's not getting as hot as it was running 26 and a half, almost 27 psi into it, tapering down, because that's going to create a lot more heat than just a flat 24, 25, or 26 psi boost curve. So again, our goal is to be around 380 to 400 foot-pounds of torque. Last time we were at 414 with that 503 horsepower. It's 119,000 miles on a stock engine, stock bottom end, and 380 to 400 is really the the limit, safe limit. It's not really the limit, but the safe limit on these 4G63 edges. So we're going to go ahead and do a pull here on Wastegate, and we'll show the results here shortly. We got our desired 400 foot-pounds of torque. A lot better curve than what we got last time. Let's see, it was only came out to about, only rode it out about 6,000. A little before that, before I let out of it. It was like 458 torque, 458 horse, 403 torque at that particular RPM. But if you notice, there is no more dip down here like there was. So we're going to take a look at the log, make the appropriate change, do another pull here in just a few minutes. Pretty good results on that one. The first pull without any heat soak in the car made close to 26 pounds, where last time, let me get the fans off here, we were making close to 27 pounds peak, holding about 24-ish up top as I looked at the logs before. This one it looked to be about 24, 25 psi flat, so that yielded 483 horse and 390 something torque. Let me see, 399 torque. So let me get the graph situated here, and at the end of this I'll show a comparison and talk about the Wastegate and what changing the spring to this did, and the little lag and lull we did, and how much more responsive the car is. It looks to be offhand about 250 RPM faster getting into boost pressure than what it did before. So this is what the graph looks like. Again, this is 483 horse, 399 torque. So we're right at the torque threshold we're looking for. So what we're going to do up top to try and get us back to that 500 or close to it is we're going to add some timing up top and see how much more we can get out of it. We feel we can add probably a degree, maybe two at most, just because we don't have a higher peak, so we're running about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds less than we were before. Means the intake charge is going to be cooler the whole way. Intercooler's not going to heat soak as fast. Car's not going to heat soak as fast. So nice cool charge air going in makes for power. So again, we're going to add a degree of timing. Probably leave the boost pressure where it is because it's a nice, safe, happy line. A lot safer than what it was before. Again, it wasn't too bad. How much torque we made with the 414 because it's higher up in the RPM range. Car's not working as hard to make the torque at that RPM as it is, if it hit with a smaller turbo down low, lowering the RPM range, I mean. So 43 horse, 399 torque on that one. We'll review the logs, let the car cool down, and do another pull here shortly. We are all finished up tuning. We made 504 horsepower, 410 torque. Now I know what you're thinking. We want to keep the torque down below 400, 380 at best. So what we're going to do, since right now the 20 and a half, 21 pound spring combination in the car right now is making about 24, 25 psi because of weather conditions, efficiency system, everything like that, is we're going to pull a degree of timing out at peak torque, so that should drop us back down to right around 400 foot-pounds of torque, nice safe level. Now the biggest advantage we have over the very, very light 10 psi spring that was in the car before is that we picked up about 500 RPM worth of usable range down low. So last time there's a little lull around 3,900, 4,000 RPM. We're kind of plateaued before there's enough momentum through the exhaust system to go ahead and spin the turbo up. So here's what the graph overlaid what we did this time with last time, just to show that difference. Now this time the pull is in red, and last time it is in blue. So you can see our biggest advantage is right here. There's no more delay, no more lull, or anything like that. Nice smooth power the whole way. Again, about 500 RPM difference between where we were and where we are now. Now you'll notice we did lose a little bit in the mid-range, and that has to do because of lower boost pressure. So again, we're making about 24.5, 25 psi of boost pressure with the springs that are in here, compared to almost 27 last time. So up in this area, we're still around 26 psi boost pressure. So we're able to use ignition timing to carry us the rest of the way. So we're still going to be able to make the 504 horsepower. We're going to pull just a degree of timing out in here to bring that torque level back down to where we want it, which is between 380 and 400. So this just goes to show you that when you're making your turbo system, your part list, everything like that, that the appropriate size wastegate spring is very important in determining not just overall boost pressure, what you can run on the spring, what you ultimately are able to run using a boost controller and whatnot. I'm also can show you with the proper spring, what it can do. Excuse me, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. With the proper spring, that we don't have little oddities in here like that big lull between boost pressure coming in and not. So again, 500 RPM we picked up down low with usable power band with the proper spring in the wastegate. So make sure that when you guys are sizing your turbo systems, your wastegate size, or your springs, that you're sizing them appropriately for your application. And then also, you've got a big enough spring or small enough spring to hit or meet your desired boost pressure and horsepower goals. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please think about doing so. We hope you have a good one. We'll see you again soon.